Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
LT will send out a lock a little bit later on at the Lance Taylor on Twitter, Can you also see it at lanceslock.com, the free play every day?
Yeah, you can. And I knew we hexed it yesterday.
Oh, boy.
After 13 consecutive weeks, winning weeks. We still have an opportunity. Yesterday was first day of the week, but we went 0-2.
Yeah, let's don't throw in the towel for the week yet. You'll battle.
Bad start, though.
Yeah, 0-2 start, but the winners keep coming. Lanceslock.com, free play at the Lance Taylor, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill every day. Adam, Chad, and the team there, LT, the best in the business. They'll never let you down when it comes to plumbing, cooling, and heating.
Yeah, when something's not running right, flowing right, draining right, flushing right, disaster can strike at any moment. We all know that. We've had to call our friends at Hemp Hill. That is the first number you need to call because they're going to fix it right, always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trusted name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090.
All right, we've had our upset alerts earlier. We've done our four downs. John Parker Wilson, Clay Travis, Jason Campbell still to come. He'll be back with us coming up at 12:35. I did check in the commercial break just to make sure that I remembered the John Parker Wilson day correctly in Fayetteville. And what was it, 6 of 14 that day? But he didn't have to throw the football because Alabama was running the ball so well.
What was that final score?
Oh, it was. I've already lost it. It was a lot to very little. It was a beatdown, a woodshed. It was over with early on. Guys like Coffey and Upchurch had long touchdown runs. I think Coffey took one 87 yards. There's something about this game this week. Does anybody feel like Alabama's about to kick their ass?
I don't feel the same way you guys feel. I mean, I'm a little surprised at Lance, too, because normally you would say that number is there for a reason. When everybody's like, ooh, 17's too much. I mean, Alabama on the road, they struggle some, but you almost always say the number's there for a reason. So I'm interested why you feel differently about this one.
Well, the number was there against Texas.
I know, but again, normally that's what you say. A
Well,
number's there for a reason. Is that
Arkansas is a better team than Texas. I think this is by far the best team that Alabama will face. I think Arkansas, coming off that loss, I think they'll play with a chip on their shoulder. Sam Pittman seems like a coach that gets his team, back up quickly. And I think, home field, I think that's going to be a big advantage. We'll see if these young receivers step up.
It is time for them to step up. We'll see what they do this weekend. So we've talked a lot about that game. Rockstar, give me cut 8. LT has mentioned this twice this week after the start Florida State's under. LSU goes and plays Auburn, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Brian Kelly, a very buttoned-up Brian Kelly at his news conference this week, talking about where LSU is as they start to get to the good part of their schedule too, right? They've got who on the horizon? They've got Tennessee on the horizon and a trip to a trip to Auburn this weekend. And Brian Kelly talks about the success they've had since that Florida State loss.
We've been able to make the progress necessary to have a modest winning streak, and this is modest. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. This month will tell us a lot, right? We've got an SEC slate in front of us over the next 4 weeks, which will challenge us to a new level, and we'll certainly find out even more about our grit and what kind of football team this will continue to grow to be.
Now, he doesn't know what it's like to be in the SEC yet. The win over Mississippi State is his high water mark so far, but what makes the conference what it is this kind of stretch right here where you go back to back to back to back. You heard LT lay out 6 games with a bye in it for Alabama. Even for Alabama, that seems like a challenging schedule.
Yeah.
Now, LSU, without that roster Alabama has, about to hit a part of their schedule where, as Brian Kelly rightly points out, we're about to find out what the SEC is like if you're a new coach like BK.
And you were talking about BK. You were talking about their defense earlier, Lance. I want to mention their offense real quick because they got to figure out a way maybe to take a little bit off Jaden Daniels' shoulders. He's obviously their leading passer, but he's also their leading rusher right now.
He's everything.
He's been everything for their offense. The great news is he's not turning the football over.
Well, that's great news. And also the fact that this team is sitting there at 3-1 They're maybe a missed extra point away from being undefeated. And guess who hasn't scored a touchdown all year?
Keyshawn Boutte.
Yeah.
He was gone last game for those that missed it because of the birth of his first child.
son, yeah.
And he's going to be back for the Auburn game this week. And you're right, he's not found the end zone yet.
Yeah, so, you get that guy heated up with a Jaden Daniels that's not turning the football over.
Yeah.
This, again, I believe in Brian Kelly. I think you guys believe in Brian Kelly. This team will get better and better each week. And this defense is going to give Auburn a lot of problems.
Okay, let's do our Redmond Vodka inside the numbers here. You tell me about Redmond Vodka. I'm going to throw some college football numbers from this past weekend or from the early part of the season, and I want your instant reaction to those. Some of these numbers that are thrown together by the likes of David Hell and Stuart Mandel and our buddy Dan Wetzel and others just blow me away. And I got a few of them that I want to get your reaction to. It's brought to you by Redmond Vodka.
Yeah, locally owned and operated. Redmond Vodka, their aim, clarity, and taste, color, and smell. It's vodka perfection. Redmond Vodka is made from corn, which not only makes it gluten-free, also provides that smooth finish, doesn't have a harsh aftertaste, also 8 times distilled. Available at your local package store, including Pink Package in the beverage place. Also, ABC stores, available in 20 states. Ask for it by name, and it is Redmond Vodka.
Okay, here we go. Minnesota, they're 4-0. You guys like Minnesota. They've looked pretty good at times. I
run the ball really well.
Picked them back in the summer to win the Big Ten West. I didn't know maybe it was going to be as easy as it's starting to look, but they're 4-0. Yes, Tanner Morgan, they run the ball well. Their defense, as this is pointed out this weekend, they have held 16 straight opponents to 30 points or fewer. It's the longest streak in the country.
That's pretty impressive, and you just look at the defense this year. And, again, they haven't played any lights-out offenses. The Michigan State win was impressive because of what they did with their defense, but they're only giving up 6 points per game.
Yeah, that could change this week, though. Purdue can be a good offensive team. Now, they're playing the game in Minneapolis, so it's home field for Minnesota. What's the number? They've
Oh, I think it's like 14.
No. I mean, they've held them to what?
They have 30 points or under, 16 straight opponents.
I think it'd be tough for Purdue to get to 30.
Longest streak in the country.
Yeah.
I can't see Purdue getting 30.
I can. There are days, though, where Purdue's offense, when it gets hot, it can be hard to stop.
What could you tell me? What sort of defines Scott Frost's time at Nebraska?
Close games, close losses.
Close losses. Can I give you one coach that's lost 7 times in the last 11 games by a touchdown or less?
Is he a Power 5?
He is.
7 times in the last 11 games by a touchdown or less.
Yeah.
Brian Harsin.
It is not Brian Harsin.
Who is it?
It is Steve Sarkisian.
Oh.
Texas blows a 14-point second-half lead at Texas Tech. Sark has now lost 7 times in the last 11 games by a touchdown or less, including Alabama by a point.
Look, he's your guy. Lance and I doubted this guy. You would think, LT, he gets a little bit of a breather against a West Virginia team this week, but Las Vegas tells you it's not a huge breather.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a tight game.
That West Virginia team probably deserves a better record than what they have right now.
Well, they looked a lot better against Virginia Tech. Now, I don't know how much of that was a function of Virginia Tech, but that was a Thursday night game last week. So West Virginia on the road, but coming off long rest, and Texas coming off a tough, hard-fought, emotional loss in Lubbock. I don't know, man. I actually looked at this game in my upset alert, but it just feels like there's so much unknown about both these teams. Primarily, who's playing quarterback Saturday for Texas? Is it going to be Quinn Ewers, you think?
I think it will be.
Yeah, I think it's about time. Hudson Card was okay this past week, but they blew the lead. Not his fault. He can't play defense, too. Sneaky good games part of the show tomorrow. This one can't be a sneaky good game because I think it's 9 versus 16 in the rankings. 9 versus 16. Oklahoma State and Baylor. Did you guys realize what Baylor's defense did to Iowa State last week? They held them to 66 yards rushing. Iowa State, who goes out to try to run the football every play, it seems like. Baylor's defense held them to 66. Scary game for Oklahoma State or not?
Oh, yeah. Spencer Sanders, though, is playing at another level, and Oklahoma State's coming off a bye, which I think does help in this situation. Because although Baylor held them to 66 yards, it was still a hard-fought win.
Interesting game. I watched a little bit of that Baylor-Iowa State game, and my takeaway from that game was we kind of moved on from Baylor as a Big 12 contender. But even though they're the defending champions, but with the Big 12 the way it is this year, I still think Baylor looks a lot like that team that won it last year. They're not great offensively.
Anybody's race.
It
right
is
now,
anybody's race in that conference. But Lance, Baylor's not just this dynamic offensive team, but they've got that really good Dave Aranda defense.
Yeah, I think we wrote them off because of the BYU triple overtime loss without BYU's best receivers, and then the next week BYU gets run off the field by Oregon.
Yeah.
One more. I think we all saw it, so it was not a great second half of football at Jordan-Hare Stadium this week. Until I went back and saw this stat, somebody pointed out, I did not know this. The second half consisted of this, Brown and LT. 12 consecutive punts, a turnover on downs, and a missed field goal into overtime. That's all that happened in the second half.
Yeah.
It was punt, 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 punt up to 12 times. Auburn went for it on 4th and 1 instead of trying the long field goal, didn't make it, turned it over on downs. Missouri drives it down, plays for the field goal, missed the field goal. That's your second half. 12 punts, a turnover on downs, and a missed field goal. That was it at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
And a Derek Aaron Judge fly out to deep left center.
Yeah.
I watched that, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's what that half felt like.
It was painful watching, but I don't think it registered with me that it was 12 punts in a row. Commercial breaks separated.
I wasn't counting them, but it feels like it in hindsight.
I read that the next day.
And you guys bitched about Aaron Judge. That was the most exciting thing that happened in the second half.
I don't disagree.
I think just because of the craziness of the game, you forget the 12 consecutive punts.
Yeah, well, the craziness of the ending, because it got boring in there in the middle. That was a boring game. By the way, on that, Eli Drinkwitz today announces that Luther Burden
so we got an update on this.
Is questionable because he was a little bit banged up in the second quarter.
Yeah, Luther didn't feel like that. He was upset he got 0 targets in the second half.
I didn't think his uniform got dirty.
I know. I wanted to say, how did he get banged up? It wasn't because he was carrying the football. That's for sure.
Yeah, or they weren't even throwing it at him.
No. So questionable for Missouri this week against Georgia.
Before LT tells us about the medical minute this week from our friends at the Urology Centers of Alabama, one more note, Brown. Pull up that Ohio State schedule. If you don't think Ohio State is going to coast through this season, not tested really until October 29th if you count Penn State as a test.
That's on the road. That's a test.
And then Michigan at the end of the year. I mean, if you look at their schedule, what do they have
Here's
left?
what they got coming. They host Rutgers. You guys feel comfortable about them winning that one Saturday?
Yes.
Okay, against Rutgers. All right. They're at Michigan State, who is as bad as Rutgers.
Yeah,
they will destroy
might beat
Michigan
them by
State.
70.
Host Iowa, who can make it a tricky game, but I would like Iowa a lot more in Iowa City.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's in Columbus. Then the one you just mentioned at Penn State screams ABC primetime game, unless Fox has picked it for the big noon.
So not the whiteout game, though. They've already do that.
But I could see that being prime. If that's prime time in Happy Valley, that could be a tough spot the way Penn State can run the football. At Northwestern, who is not good. Hosting Indiana, who got off to a 3-0 start, but they got exposed a little bit Saturday against Cincinnati. At Maryland, and then hosting Michigan. I mean, if they can get past at Penn State.
Maryland's the third toughest game on that schedule.
Probably.
Iowa.
I'd take Maryland over Iowa.
Oh, I wouldn't. I saw that last year. That was carnage.
Maryland's getting better. They were better this year. They gave it a fight this past weekend. Tell us about the Urology Centers of Alabama.
So September, which is running out, it is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We had Dr. Packy Mills in last week to talk about it. But prostate cancer, the second leading cause of cancer death in American men behind lung cancer. All men are at risk for prostate cancer, but there are various factors that can increase the risk of being diagnosed with the disease, such as age, race, and family history. Prostate cancer is normally detected with a PSA and a digital rectal examination. Men typically begin early detection for prostate cancer starting at age 40. A prostate cancer screening means the doctor is looking for cancer before it causes symptoms. In Alabama in 2022, 4,650 new cases of prostate cancer will be diagnosed, and there will be 480 deaths from the disease. Call our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920. That's 205-930-0920 for an appointment today.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day. and still pull out the big stick. The type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera. And the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
You hear a lot of interesting phrases while playing golf, like, I think you're on the beach, or the classic, you gotta hit it, Alice. One word you're sure to hear right now at Bent Brook Golf Club is wow. Brand new carts with complimentary GPS and the bent grass greens are so consistent, you just might drain a few more putts, Alice. Tee it up and find out for yourself. Book around today at bentbrook.com or call 428-1999. It's better at Bent Brook.
After years searching for a classic jacket that was functional in the field and the city, Tom Beckby couldn't find one he liked, so he decided to make his own. Since designing that first jacket in 2015, Tom Beckby has continued to draw inspiration from natural settings to produce classic outdoor equipment with time-tested rugged materials. Visit the brand new Tom Beckby store in Mountain Brook Village, a local business, with the goal of outfitting you for the outdoors here in Alabama and wherever the road takes you. Mountain Brook Village or online, TomBeckby.com. That's Tom, BECKBE.com.
Scott Powell, the executive director of the Alabama Head Injury Foundation.
The number of brain injuries in the state has increased every year from the previous year. There are about 4,100 new brain injuries every year in the state of Alabama that require an overnight hospital stay.
If you'd like to help out, please give us that information.
You can head to our website at ahif.org, and we are very thankful for any support that anyone can give.
It's the Alabama Head Injury Foundation from Huntsville to Mobile, wherever you watch us in the state. Great work, Scott. Thanks for being with us.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Unexpected expenses are every homeowner's nightmare. The longer you wait, the more the expense. That's why if you have water, fire, or mold damage to your home or business, you should call DryTech immediately. The quicker you call, the more you save. DryTech's professionals are accustomed to dealing with these situations and can guide you toward the quickest and most efficient solution to your problem. DryTech also offers 24/7 emergency services, so let DryTech prevent a minor problem from becoming a major one. Call DryTech 205-637-0143 or go online to mydrytech.com.
Now is the time to make your kids happy with a playground from Backyard Adventures. Order now and you're still guaranteed a Christmas delivery. Just go to backyardalabama.com. That's backyardalabama.com. On the website, you can see some brand new forts that are available. Plus, the always popular display sale is underway now. Just call 205-408-4FUN. That's 205-408-4386 or go to backyardalabama.com. As always with Backyard Adventures, you get quality 100% cedar with lifetime warranties, and they take care of their customers from start to finish. That means they completely set up the playground. You don't have to do anything. They'll do the landscaping to make it fit into your backyard. They'll do a maintenance program every year for you to keep it looking brand new. And when it's time for the playset to go, they'll come and take it down for you too. Learn about the display sale and see everything you need online at backyardalabama.com or call them up 205-408-4FUN for Backyard Adventures.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, the fit specialist helps you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have a high arch or flat feet, Red Wing has comfort solutions for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville.
You're not going to believe what college football officials are thinking about doing. And one thing that at least our buddy Steve Shaw is refusing to consider after LT and the fine folks, actually it's going to be Brownie, the fine folks at NASCAR get you ready for Talladega this weekend.
Listen to me right now. Talladega Super Speedway is hosting the 2022 Yellowwood 500 weekend. Sunday, October 2nd is this Sunday. That is the day of the race. You're going to want to be there. You can reserve your spot right now by going to TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DAGA. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DAGA. Go see the biggest, baddest track out there, a crucial race in the middle of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, round of 12. You can see it Sunday, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DAGA.
They continue to want to speed up our college football season.
Don't get it.
They keep wanting to speed up our games on Saturday and Thursday night, Friday, but mostly Saturday because they want them to fit into TV windows like the NFL. So they're considering an NFL rule where if the pass is incomplete, that they start the clock running again once the ball is set, which will speed up the game tremendously. So if you're not familiar, incomplete pass in college doesn't start until the next snap. Run out of bounds, they get the ball set and the clock starts back up. Not like the old days where if you ran out of bounds the whole game, they waited for the clock. I can't imagine how long games used to be. They run out of bounds as much. They didn't throw as much, so it wasn't that difference. But we throw so many passes now. And because they're incomplete passes, they say that is what, not the 5-minute commercial breaks or 4-minute commercial breaks, but it's the passing, the incomplete pass, that's what's making the games long. So they're considering going to an NFL model, and I think it's the last 2 minutes of the first half, last 5 minutes of the game, that incomplete passes would stop the clock. Other than that, an incomplete pass, once, much like running out of bounds, once they get the ball set, they would crank the clock and start rolling it. You like it or dislike it?
Well, what do they estimate the time saved is going to be? Do you have any
It'll be
idea?
a lot more in college because you got a lot more incomplete passes.
Well, I would ask you this. I mean, NFL halftime's 12 minutes.
It is.
College halftime's 20, right?
Yeah, you got the marching bands. That's what, that's one reason college is a little bit longer. You don't get that in the NFL. Yeah. But it is 12 minutes in the NFL.
Saying there's a way to make it 8 minutes right there.
Well, but here's my point. Why doesn't ESPN just finally realize college football games do not last 3.5 hours? This is on ESPN.
Actually, they do last 3.5. They don't last 3 hours. They book them every 3 hours.
They do an 11 and a 2:30.
They don't go 11. No, you're right, 11 and 2:30.
11 and 2:30,
and it still goes
and
over.
then 6:30. So they build in a little bit for that prime kick because they are not going to miss the start of the primetime game. So that tells you everything, right?
Right.
Is that they're like, we are not missing the start of the primetime game on ABC. That thing is going to start on time. So they realize it enough to bump that primetime game back a little bit and give it 4 full hours before. Now, they may go back to the local affiliates for news. I don't know how that works. Do they do that? Does ABC?
I can't remember.
Does 3340 get to do a newscast?
I'm always watching football.
Yeah, I am too.
No
but
offense to my friends who do local news,
Yeah.
but I'm changing channels to live football.
I think 3340 might get to do a little bit of a newscast. That's probably why they build it in, but they're not going to miss the start of that primetime game. That's their bread and butter. But on ESPN, they start the primetime game at 6. And you know what happens all the time? All right, we've got 4 minutes to go here. If you're looking for Arkansas, Texas A&M, it's going to be on ESPN News and the ESPN app.
Yep.
That happens.
Where's Aaron Judge?
Aaron Judge, he says next at bat. We're, by God, going to show you that. But we're not going to show you the start of your game.
If you've got regularly scheduled programming on ESPN News on Saturday, if you're not a football game, a live football game, basically you're trash because they're counting on you being interrupted.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's their holding spot right there.
I mean, it's Marty Smith and Ryan McGee tossing a beanbag into a hole.
Yes. But it's on ESPN, who's really the only one this affects. I guess Fox to a certain extent because they're doing 3 games a day. But that's the only one that CBS doesn't care. It could be an 8-hour game for them. What do they care? They only got the one game.
Yeah. See, I don't care about the length of games.
I
In
don't
fact,
either.
What makes, and I've said this many times before, what makes football so good, it is the pauses that, unlike basketball, and I love basketball, but basketball is so up and down, and there's a rhythm to that, and there's momentum to that. But I like the stop and the build for the next play. You do the play, a stop, a build for the next play. There's something about the drama between the play and the build-up to absorb the moment and get ready for the next play. There's something to that. So I don't like to rush through it.
When's the last time?
The one Steve Shaw is putting his foot in the ground on is not rolling the clock, continuing to stop the clock after a first down, even though it's once he says that will save nothing in the game as far as the length of the game. That the NFL, it does not stop for first downs. They'll let those chain guys run all day long. they're not stopping the clock on first downs. I love that it's not a timeout, but it gives you a little bit more time for a drive. These aren't the pros. So I like being able to stop on first downs, especially late in the game, to be able to drive down the field and have a chance to do something special late.
I agree. I think the excitement in those final 2 minutes when you know if you get it past the change, you're going to get that stoppage of clock. I don't know why Steve Shaw says that it's not going to cut down on time, because it would have to cut down on time.
Yeah, it seems like it would. I guess maybe
not
it's
a considerable
not
amount,
as
as much
think.
as the other.
Like if you did all that in say 4 minutes, is that big a deal?
Yeah. I watched the NFL game, and their clock works fine too, and that's the one they eventually want us to go to. If I can just say keep it in college where I can stop the clock after first downs briefly, and I only have to get 1 foot in on a reception. Those are the only two I really don't want to ever change.
I agree. It's not broken. Don't fix it.
No, but here's the thing. Nobody I know of says, God, that college game just lasted too long. Nobody. Now, the bitching we get is how long the commercial breaks last at the stadium. And I guess sometimes at home, but primarily at the stadium. That's not a length of game issue. That's a length of commercial break issue. I don't know one person, and I'm not over-exaggerating this, I've never had one person tell me they thought college football games lasted too long. Have you ever been told that?
No. Have you ever heard that about baseball?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Part of our show being brought to you by our friends at the University of Montevallo. If you're looking for a great place for your son or daughter to go to school, Montevallo could be that place. Just find out more at montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu. Great class sizes. Tuition price hasn't been raised in 5 years. It's at a perfect price point right now. And just a beautiful campus. Check it out. It is montevallo.edu. Schedule an in-person tour, montevallo.edu. I don't like the clock changes. Forrest, I sent you a link to Marlon Humphrey. We don't have that? Okay. Hey, Marlon Humphrey posted yesterday. And I'm sure, I would imagine every school does this, or big schools do this, but Alabama sends it out about this time every year. They send every one of their NFL players this big box of gear. Mm-hmm. And Marlon did such a great job yesterday of opening it up on social media. And pulling them out, a hat, several hats, toboggans, pullovers, shorts, shirts, all Alabama gear, the newest stuff. They want their pros to be sporting their gear, right?
Yeah,
They're
why would you
NFL
not?
guys, right? It's a good marketing thing. It's the Bama box that they send out. Now, I assume every other major school does it too, but the Bama box showed up at NFL locker rooms around the NFL yesterday. It was a pretty cool look. Go check out Marlon on social media there. You had something you were about to say?
Well, it was back to the rule changes, and
Okay.
I apologize. Didn't realize we were moving on. But and Riley points this out, and he's right. The NFL, one reason their game goes faster too is you're not stopping every other play for review. We've gotten way too reviewy in college football. The NFL, you challenge it, or they do the scoring plays, then it moves on.
Would you rather do that?
Almost, yeah. I mean,
I
maybe
like
not limit it to 2 challenges. I don't know. But the NFL, college football is just like every bang play, they're back to the line of scrimmage and the whistle blows, and now we've got a 2-minute delay to recruit.
It is overkill.
Yeah. I just think we review way too much in college football. And I want them to get it right. I get all that. But maybe just give a coach 4 challenges or 3 challenges or whatever, and we're not going to review everything. We'll review scoring plays, and you got to challenge everything else.
Every challenge is a timeout.
Something like that. I don't know. I'm fine with that. I think that is the thing that slows it down as much as anything, is they review everything in college football now.
We'll talk to Jason Campbell coming up in the next segment, and a lot more college football as we work through the final hour of the show here, brought to you by Crocker Moving Services. They're the people to use for all your residential and commercial moving, and they'll pack up your home and your office as well. It's a fantastic service. It's a fantastic company that Eric Crocker has created there. Eric Crocker is a Marine, a Birmingham native, a veteran of the Iraq War, and he has some principles that just makes Crocker Moving Services a great Alabama company, a great American company. You can see more and learn more about his journey at crockermovingservices.com, crockermovingservices.com. He's a guy that believes in using made-in-the-USA equipment and made-in-the-USA supplies whenever possible. He'll move you anywhere in the continental United States. He's a veteran. It's a veteran-owned company. He loves to employ veterans as well whenever possible. And he's been doing this a combined 35 years with his buddy Drew actually was Eric's crew leader on his first day as a mover back in 2005. A lot of experience, a lot of integrity. Next time you're moving your office or moving your home, whether it's right now or next spring, it's our friends at CrockerMovingServices.com, CrockerMovingServices.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
At Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, you can now drive the 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulia TI, the Italian sports sedan of your dreams, starting at $499 per month plus tax with $4,999 down, plus first payment and title due at delivery. Come experience the passion and performance of Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, 1837 Grants Mill Road, or Alfa Romeo USA of Birmingham.com. Like financial lease, 10,000 miles per year, WAC, MSRP, $51,490. Stock numbers Q0059, Q0068, or Q0074.
Holly Mack Wilson just sold the Johnsons a new home. Not a house, a home. She helped them put a swing in the backyard, helped move the grill to the back patio, and watched as the Johnsons put their great-grandmother's piano in the foyer. A house is a dwelling. A home is a place filled with love and memories. Call Holly Mack Wilson, your Tuscaloosa Keller Williams Realtor, 205-901-9446, or check out our website, hollymackhomes.com, and let Holly Mack Wilson help you find your dream home where you can make your own memories.
Vulcan Tire and Automotive is hiring. If you want to take advantage of joining in with a local growing company in the automotive service industry, this is the opportunity for you. Hiring oil and tire technicians and more experienced mechanics. If you've got the talent and the desire, there is a spot for you at Vulcan Tire and Auto. Stop by one of their 4 locations and the manager on site can walk you through the pay scale, great benefits, and flexible work schedule. Get paid to build your future in the industry. Moody, Trustful, Hoover, and Gardendale, VulcanTireandAuto.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All the coaches I talk to believe you win championships in all 3 phases of the game. And the same is true with my friends at Wayne's with pest protection, termite protection, and lawn care. The website is callwaynes.com. Remember the promo code TNR for big savings. With the cold weather coming, the pests will be trying to break through your defense and come inside. You can save $60 right now off of Smart Pest by using that promo code TNR. So go online to callwaynes.com or call the phone number 866-WAYNES1 and remember the promo code TNR.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day on our website, nextroundlive.com. The morning rounds give you the top links to the stories you need to see before going to lunch with your buddies. At nextroundlive.com, you can also watch and listen to the show live or download our top podcast and shop in the Next Round store. New arrivals, new downloads, new shows, new contests, all on one website, nextroundlive.com. Make it your homepage, nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store. The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself or they make a great gift for someone else. And let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
All right, we're about to get ready for the big weekend down at Jordan-Hare as that massive homestand continues. LSU and Auburn, 6 o'clock on ESPN. We're keeping an eye on the weather. Already moved is Eastern Washington and Florida to Sunday there in Gainesville because of the Hurricane Ian that's making landfall. South Carolina State, South Carolina moved to Thursday night because they don't want to play in a rainstorm. We're still waiting to see about Wake Forest and Florida State and some other games that are out there.
Auburn great Jason Campbell, part of the Auburn Sports Network as well, going to join us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline to talk about that Auburn LSU game. Don't forget, they are closing out the 2022 models at Johnston RV Center to make room for the 23s. That means travel trailers as low as $139 a month, fifth wheel starting at $329 a month with approved credit and 10% down. You can see it for yourself. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. Jason Campbell with us now. What's up, Jason? How are you?
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. It's I don't know if you want to say autumn or fall, but it's a great day.
It's a good feeling day is what it is. Absolutely. This series is a weird series. You have played in what I guess started in 4 Auburn LSU games, if I'm not mistaken. And this one seems to have weird moments about as much as any game you can find.
Yeah, this one does. If you think about the way that Auburn ended up winning against Missouri, it's almost like is this the setup game for something crazy to happen on Saturday night? This game you've seen there all kind of things happen, and this to me is one of the most exciting games on the schedule each and every year. Of course, the Iron Bowl is always at the top, and then you have the Georgia game, but the LSU game is always like just right there because it is a weird game, and it's a weird rivalry. And you've seen from a 6th interception game, you've seen the game where we beat them in 04 in the back of the end zone after we missed a chip shot extra point, and you get the penalty there. You've seen the arena being on fire behind the stadium. So there's been times that you just look at this game, you just be like, wow. So I'm expecting to see a crazy one this weekend because you're dealing with basically 2 coaches that don't really know a whole lot about each other from that standpoint, and then 2 quarterbacks that still trying to find themselves.
You talk about the weirdness and things that happen in Jordan-Hare. We were talking about this yesterday, from the Missouri game that we saw this past weekend to the kick six, the prayer at Jordan-Hare. What about in your playing days? I'm almost convinced the Stanford-Cal band game happened at Jordan-Hare. but go back to your playing days. Do you remember a couple of crazy moments in that stadium?
Yeah, I remember some good, some not good. I remember we played against Georgia in 2002, and we had the game pretty much won. It was 4th and 15, and they throw a fade ball to the back of the end zone. Our DB is in great position to knock the ball down and end the game for us. And all of a sudden, he falls down or get pushed down, whatever you want to say it was. All of a sudden, he just disappeared, and Michael Johnson ended up catching the ball in the back of the end zone, and they ended up winning that football game. And then, like I said, in 04, we missed the extra point, but then they had just put that rule in place that year, and the guy came and landed on top of our center and gave us the opportunity to re-kick that. So even the Florida game, 2001, Damon Duval, the kick with the wind, how it just started out so far out, and it just came in and went through the post, and we upset the number 1 team in the country at that time. So there's been some crazy, crazy things that happen in Jordan-Hare. That's why it's become one of the most monumental college stadiums in all of college football.
Jason Campbell is with us. Ronnie Brown told us earlier this year when he was on with us, Jason, that there's an opportunity for you guys to sort of be mentors to the players who are wearing the orange and blue right now. You may have already had a one-on-one, Robbie Ashford. You may have done it several times. But if you could talk to Robbie right now and give him one piece of advice, a little older, experienced, former NFL player advice to a guy who has been in his position, what would you tell him right now to sort of help the game slow down a little bit for him?
Yeah, I would definitely. I've had talks with him before. I would definitely tell him you don't have to make every play. Know to understand the best thing for you to do sometimes is to be able to punt the football. And what I mean by that is turnovers is what can hurt this football team the most because we're not a high-scoring offense. And our defense do really well at times, and then sometimes I think they get down a little bit because they're getting ran on so much because they're on the field too much. And so the best thing that you can do is not put them in a situation where they have to defend the short field, because you don't want to give the opponent an opportunity to get points ahead where we feel like we're in chase mode. You have to understand where you're at in the offense and where you're at as far as your growth as a team, and especially him. He's an athletic quarterback. He can scramble very well, and he's still trying to continue to work on his accuracy downfield and decision making. And I think that's just going to come with more experience. This was his third full game. The first two he split time with TJ, and then this time he had an opportunity to play in pretty much the whole game. So it's going to take a little time for him from an experience standpoint to get into a rhythm and get some continuity with some of the receivers and different things. But be honest with yourself. That's the other thing I always try to tell these kids, man. Everybody always been telling them how great they were ever since they put a ball in their hand. And they come into college feeling that way. They come into college thinking like everything they do is just going to be absolutely great. I say that's a false narrative. I was like, there's hills and roller coasters in this game. I said, especially at the quarterback position. I said, but you need to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself and say, hey, I need to do better. I have to do better. These are things I need to work on in order to become a better quarterback. And that's to be his mind thought week in and week out. How can I become better the next week than I was the week before? And just continue to go that way.
Jason Campbell, the former Auburn great, now with the Auburn Sports Network, among other things. You follow him on Twitter at JCam_17, at JCam_17. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. The play calling tells me they don't really trust Ashford to throw the ball a ton. I mean, I think you saw that against Missouri. What does that do to you as a quarterback? You got to be confident to play that position, as you well know, when you probably realize the coaches don't trust me to run the whole playbook.
Yeah, it can be a tough situation because, your receivers are asking the quarterback most of the time, like, man, like, what's up, man? Like, why we ain't getting the ball? Like, why we not calling plays for us to get the ball? And then a lot of it's a trust factor between the coach and the quarterback. And let's be honest, like I said, we haven't seen a lot of Robbie. He went to Oregon and he sat for 2 years and he transferred to Auburn. So I'm not sure how well, Coach Harsin or Coach Keith told him how well they really know him, besides just letting him play and then kind of learning as they go. And, of course, early on in the season, he had a couple of throws and, they got intercepted, and sometimes they can make the play call a little gun shy and calling more down the field plays because they're afraid that, the ball may not go where it needs to go. But I'll say it like this. If you feel like your back is against the wall and you have, you trying to, see what you have, sometimes you just got to let it go and see what you have in order to see, does this kid have it or not? And I just feel like for Robbie, like he wants everyone to know that he's a quarterback and not just a runner. And, he wants to throw the ball down the field. And, we have some big receivers. You got Camden Brown, 6'5", Landon King, who's about 6'4", 6'5". Then you got Javaris Johnson, who's a speedster. You have guys that can go out and make plays. You saw Court Moore make some plays last week. So we definitely need these guys to get more involved in the offense, and we do need to take more shots. We're letting teams line up eight people in the box, and they're getting our running backs before they can get back to the line of scrimmage. That means we need to take our shots. So there's some one-on-one opportunities, and the guy doesn't always have to be open. We can put the ball up high and let them go up and make a play.
Shifting quickly to the NFL, your former teams, the Raiders and the Commanders, are combined 1-5. Both of those teams were sneaky teams to possibly be a dark horse and win the AFC West and the NFC East. What's going on with Raiders right now and the Commanders?
Yeah, two teams that, people thought the Raiders would be a lot better this year, especially, with getting Adams coming over from Green Bay, and, pretty much the best receiver in football. You can say him and Cooper Kupp up there. But, you start off 0-3, and I think a lot of it is the expectations. Guys are reading too much into the expectations, reading too much into the headlines, and not doing what they need to do on the field as far as, like, putting it all together. And, everyone thinks how Josh McDaniels was under Coach Belichick that he's all of a sudden, supposed to be the guy because this is his second go-round of being a head coach. But when he was at Denver, it kind of started off the same way when he was the head coach at Denver. And, and they had talent at that standpoint. So some guys are great coordinators and some guys are can galvanize a room and be great head coaches. But just because guys are coordinators doesn't always mean that they're head coaches. And I think, this is his second go-round. But I know from playing for the Raiders, it's all about winning. And if they don't start winning soon, especially with the talent that they acquired this offseason, there's going to be a lot of rumbling. And then you look at Washington. Washington's always been a revolving door. And, even when they've had solid players, they let players get out of there. They let players, leave and go to other franchises and end up doing better instead of re-signing guys. So it's always a constant revolving room. And I just think when you look at this team, like, you just don't see the change, the schematically from a standpoint where they're in games early. They always fall behind, and then they got to fight themselves out of a deep hole, and that's just tough football to be in.
You can follow Jason on Twitter at jcam_17. He gives you links to his weekly podcast. He talks a lot of Auburn there. You can find it where you get our podcast there with Apple, but you got it linked right there. If you go follow Jason on Twitter, get it at jcam_17, at jcam_17. Also hear him on the Auburn Sports Network. Jason, we appreciate the time. It is always great talking with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. Take care. Jason Campbell, the Auburn great, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Hey, remember, if you're heading to Jordan Hare or over to Bryant Denny for a game or down to Protective Stadium, be dressed for the game. Thanks to our friends at the Pants Store. Great locations in Crestline, Leeds, Trussville, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, Hoover, and now Auburn. And you can order online at pantsstore.com anywhere in America. Pantsstore.com. Follow them on social media as well at the Pants Store. Game day hats, all your Yeti accessories, sunglasses, game day polos from Antigua, Taylor and Mick, Johnny O, and Gentile. And guys, trust me when I tell you, they've got these specific designed women's clothing there, women's game day gear there that will make your wife, your girlfriend, your daughter happy that they decided to go to the Pants Store. Crestline, Leeds, Trussville, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, Hoover, and now open in Auburn. Brown.
Thank God it was a mistake I made earlier when I called the Miami coach Mike McDaniel Josh McDaniels. You would think I wouldn't make that mistake, but thank God it was only a mistake because I'm with Jason Campbell. Sometimes being a great coordinator is about as good as you can ever be. And McDaniel's been a really good coordinator.
Josh chose the Raiders over the Dolphins, right? He was the Dolphins ever offered? He was
I don't
mentioned.
know if they ever offered him, but it was discussed.
I think the number here, hold on, this is pretty amazing. So
everything about Josh McDaniels tells you the guy would be a good NFL head coach.
Yeah, but he was 6-0 to start his career at Denver. Remember
That's right.
that?
Yep.
And since then, his record is
not good.
I think I've got it right here.
Who was his initial starter at Denver? Do you remember? Was it Brock Osweiler? But he ended up with Tebow.
Right. He drafted Tebow.
It was Kyle Orton.
And Tebow won a playoff game. I mean, people forget that. It wasn't a great game.
It's a great 30 for 30. The day Tebow won a playoff game. 30 minutes in America.
Yeah. It's bad. I mean, Lance, it's bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah. All right. Maybe you'll find it during the break there. And the final thought of the day coming up, that includes one Power 5 team blaming their mistakes on the PA announcer. You know the PA announcer, the guy who makes off the right side, gain up 7. Don't forget. Oh, Dave Johnson, please call home. Remember when that used to happen when nobody had cell phones?
Chevy Tahoe, Park.
The worst was Jim Dunaway. You've got an emergency.
Yeah, I know.
Back before you had cell phones, they'd take it to the press box, and they would announce it in front of 80,000 fans. Jim Dunaway, please call home. Jim Dunaway, please call home.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't. Hey, baby, can you stop and get some milk on your way back from the Bama game?
All right, when we come back, one Power 5 coach blaming mistakes on the freaking PA announcer. That when we come back on The Big Show.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
For one of Birmingham's best beer selections since 2016, come check out our friends at the Beer Hog. With 64 local, regional, and international craft beers on tap, there is something for everyone. Plenty of TVs to watch all the games while you enjoy some of their fresh-baked pizzas and delicious appetizers. The Beer Hog also has wines on tap and a full bar with great signature cocktails. Don't forget about the large selection of packaged beer and growlers to go. Follow us on Facebook or just stop by the Beer Hog located 2408 Pelham Parkway.
Whether you're a weekend athlete or sports is your life, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to help you stay in the game. If you have an injury or pain that says something's not right, let Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics help you make your greatest comeback. From concussions to sprained ankles, our experienced team is ready with treatment options. Find a doctor at precisionsportsortho.com/providers.
In a word, it's chaos.
You'll have to see it to believe it. Whoever said that must have been talking about Talladega. It's a place where chaos mixes with speed, where a town turns into a city, and a weekend becomes a lifetime of memories. It's a tradition like no other.
What a wild finish.
NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, October 1st and 2nd.
Bubba Wallace, the winner at Talladega.
Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to another college football season. And welcome back to another season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper. That little slice of heaven. Every man, woman, and student section drinks Dr. Pepper like their life depends on it. It does. Where the air is filled with the scent of charcoal grills, and the streets are marked with yard lines. Practical. Where the current trending baby names are Blitz, Spike, and 2-point conversion. Adorable. And recruitment starts before you're born. It's a linebacker. Where NFT stands for Not Fun Tailgate, and DIY stands for Dr. Pepper is Yummy. It is. It's the place off-season fever dreams are made of, where the right to life, liberty, and barbecue is written in the town's constitution. Saucy. And the current forecast is sunny, with a 90% chance of the skies opening up and raining down delicious droplets of Dr. Pepper. Grab a bucket. Get ready for anything to happen this college football season on Fansville by Dr. Pepper. The one fans deserve. Grab some today.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Want more of The Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Start your day online at nextroundlive.com. Get all the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. And it's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Now is the time to make your kids happy with a playground from Backyard Adventures. Order now and you're still guaranteed a Christmas delivery. Just go to backyardalabama.com. That's backyardalabama.com. On the website, you can see some brand new forts that are available. Plus, the always popular display sale is underway now. Just call 205-408-4FUN. That's 205-408-4386, or go to backyardalabama.com. As always with Backyard Adventures, you get quality 100% cedar with lifetime warranties, and they take care of their customers from start to finish. That means they completely set up the playground. You don't have to do anything. They'll do the landscaping to make it fit into your backyard. They'll do a maintenance program every year for you to keep it looking brand new. And when it's time for the playset to go, they'll come and take it down for you too. Learn about the display sale and see everything you need online at backyardalabama.com, or call them up 205-408-4FUN for Backyard Adventures. Final thought today brought to you by our friends at Gutter Cap. The temperatures are cool today. High's going to be 76 out there. That means the leaves are about to give up and start falling in your gutters.
Yeah, and when they start falling, one thing you don't want to do is get that dangerous ladder out. You want to watch football on the weekends. You don't want to be cleaning the gutters. Imagine getting on the roof. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Gutter Cap is a patented aluminum cover system. It fits over most existing gutters, keeping that debris out. Eliminate gutter cleaning forever. It's back with a lifetime warranty. 45% off the retail price right now for the Next Round viewer and listener. Call Chris Stewart today, 205-823-2212, or online, guttercapbirmingham.com. Cap it, don't snap it.
Okay, so here we go. At Oklahoma this past week, they got beat by who?
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Kansas State's beaten them 3 out of the last 4 years. But Brent Venables comes in, and they change some things up when a new coach comes in. So they've started a new tradition at Oklahoma Brown, not part of your Thursday's tradition. I'm not trying to
You
steal
don't know that.
I'm not trying to steal it from you. But they've started, much like in Tuscaloosa, when Alabama gets the first down, the PA guy goes, roll, and the crowd goes Tide.
No, he goes first down.
Okay, first down, the crowd goes roll Tide, right?
Yes.
But in Oklahoma, they get a first down, and he goes, Boomer, and everyone goes, Sooner,
Okay.
right?
All right.
They're going fast, and Jeff Lebby said it was the PA announcer that cost them some penalties this past week. He's not used to our pace yet, and sometimes when we're at the line of scrimmage, right when we would get ready to snap the ball, he was catching up, and he'd yell, Boomer! And when he'd yell over the PA, Boomer, Lebby's guys jumped off sides. 3 times on third downs, he blamed it on the PA announcer for yelling, Boomer!
I'll tell you, if this is, in fact, what really caused these infractions, Saban would have said, go get that son of a bitch to shut up after the first one. Would you agree?
He'd be publicly executed.
Put a bullet in him in midfield. Hey, whoa.
If Venables has got pulled, this is, they're going to have to stop him.
You said on third down. That doesn't make sense if he only does it when they get first downs.
Running, I don't know. I'm just reading right here. Sometimes the man behind the PA falls behind and is still doing his first down chant when Jeff Lebby's offense is snapping the football. We found ourselves, we were really bad on third down. We had 5 plays, 3rd and 7+, where we didn't convert on a single one. 3 of those 5 were because of pre-snap penalties, and 1 of them was because of a drop. So you look at that and you think we can be better. And he gets a player who says that it was McCade Matra who said the false start was called when the PA announcer said, I heard him say Boomer. I thought it was a snap count, and I jumped forward.
That seems like what we like to call an excuse.
We know how to distract Oklahoma from now on.
Yeah, I know. If I'm with the opposing team, Boomer!
Yeah, everybody starts screaming that, much like the Bronco fans are doing with the clock.
Yeah, that seems like a bad excuse.
Morning rounds,
Take
top
the L.
reads. Jeff Lebby says Oklahoma's issue with PA announcer will get cleaned up.
So basically, they're blaming the loss on the PA announcer.
That's kind of what it sounds like, Lance, yes.
Some of their mistakes, yes.
Yeah, it might have something to do with that, what did Clack call it, a violent defense?
That was Brock Heward, yeah.
Yeah, Brock Heward. Gave up 41 points and 275 rushing yards to K-State.
Yeah, interesting read. Top reads right now at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, part of your morning rounds. That's the show today. Tomorrow, we will get to another show. Part of the show today on Wednesday is who? Who's on the show Wednesday?
Oh, who's on the show Wednesday? Is that what you're asking me, Jim?
Stumbling
In
through
a
the
really
India.
difficult way.
Yeah.
Tom Lugaville, he's got Florida State Wake, so that means Lugaville's
the weather game again.
Doing it in a hurricane, of course. Todd Furman from the desert, Bryant Vincent, the UAB head coach, and more.
Yeah, there's a chance Luganville's game gets canceled altogether.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going to do my backup. I'm going to give you tomorrow as my backup upset alert, Reichstar.
You better start drawing. We got less than 21 hours.
I'm going to give you the double-digit dog that wins outright this weekend. And it's my backup upset alert just in case Florida State
I
gets
might have
canceled.
already done that for you.
You might have. I haven't heard it yet.
No, it was Arkansas.
Okay. No, that's not the one I'm using.
Well, you better not need points because I don't want any points.
Reichstar, I won't need them. It's a double-digit dog winning outright.
Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.